All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi, and make no mistake, this is the first. I think this is the first video I've uploaded in around 25 hours. But I'm back. How are you guys doing? Smash the likes up through the roof to the heavens. Get your comments coming in and let us discuss a couple of stories on my table. A couple of them actually. We beat Newcastle, like I said. I didn't do a match reaction on that one, but I said we would beat Newcastle in the FA Cup third round. We progressed through to the fourth round. We are about to know who we get, and I'll be telling you. I'll be giving you that update. Who do we get on the fourth round in the FA Cup? And I told you if there is anything like silverware hope Arsenal have, it is in the FA Cup. So congratulations, the boy Emile Smith Rowe, as well as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang getting themselves onto the score sheet 2-0. It was the final score after extra time. Newcastle really organized and very, very hard to break, but that was it. Today I come bearing a couple of stories. Arsenal refused to pay the wages of Mesut Ozil if he's going to go out on loan to Fenerbahce. That is only making the deal a little bit harder. Edin Ketia is not going to be sold to West Ham. That is also making things a little bit harder. Rob Holding, David Onstein confirms that yes, the man is going to be signing a new contract at Arsenal. Does that mean he is in the longer term project of Mikel Arteta? Matteo Guendouzi could be coming back, but Fabrizio Romano says that the sources close to the boy indicate that Hertha Berlin actually would rather make his move a permanent one. And Emi Buendia, could we see him sign for Arsenal this week? That and more is coming up. Smash the like button. Let's get them to 500 likes. And it was my birthday, I think on 9th. It was my birthday, and I want to thank everybody who had a hand in it. The celebrations, the messages, and everything. Thank you so much. It really meant a lot. God bless you. I hope I can do the same when people get their birthdays. Anyway, let's get the party started. And I'll start with Arsenal refusing to pay the wages of Mesut Ozil if he goes to Fenerbahce. Now, this was the deal was structured in a way that Fenerbahce wanted to take Mesut Ozil on a 6-month loan. However, Arsenal had to pay his wages or part of his wages, until the end of the season, because we know that his contract ends at the end of the season. However, Arsenal was saying if he's going out to Fenerbahce until the end of the season, they will not pay his wages. They will not pay part of his wages. He would rather stay, and that is actually making the deal a little bit harder. I don't know whether Arsenal want Mesut Ozil to cancel his contract, or I don't know whether they want him to they want to get some money out of him going to Fenerbahce. I don't understand, but for me, I thought Fenerbahce were doing us a world of good if they could pay at least half of the wages of the player until the end of the season, and then the burden goes away, goes off fully, because it doesn't make sense for me. I don't think Arsenal is going to pay a lot of money to bring in a new player. I don't think we're looking at a high profile player that's coming in and you are going to give them big wages, or we pay big money for him. And what do we gain if Mesut Ozil stays at the Emirates Stadium and is not going to play football? Again, it's a deal that really is baffling me. I thought Fenerbahce were about to close this, but if Arsenal have become a stumbling block in the deal, then you know where things are going. Then let's look at Edin Ketia as well. Arsenal saying they will not cash in on Edin Ketia in the January transfer window, however much West Ham is interested in the services of the young England international. Of course, this is quite, this is kind of way. We don't want to cash in on him if with the right amount of money on the table, or we just don't want to sell him. If Arsenal don't say they do not want to sell Edin Ketia, that wouldn't that wouldn't make sense. I don't think he's a player that has a big future at the club. We've seen him play. I've seen him play. I appreciate him as a young player. He has this talent and so on. But I don't see him as a prolific player in the future who's going to have a big future at Arsenal. If we can get money out of him right now, I think it should have been a good deal. We have already taken out a loan, 120 million. That shows already that we are in a nasty, financial situation. And now we have a chance to sell Eddie Nketiah for around what, 10, 15 million. That would have been, quite good money. It would have been money that, would help us get in at least a midfielder, who we badly need. If it's not Buendia, it could be Brand. If it can't be Brand, it could be anyone. But Arsenal saying they do not want to sell Eddie Nketiah in the January transfer window. Period. Rob Holding is getting a new contract that has been confirmed by Devin Onstein. And I've already said this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Rob Holding is getting his, this new contract and game time and everything because he's English. Not because I don't want to pick out on him, but the fact is we do not have so many English players that are playing regular football at Arsenal. We have Rob Holding, Bukayo Saka, and now Emile Smith-Rowe. So you have only 3 players that are regular in the Arsenal squad. And even if you drop down and look onto Arsenal's bench, how many players are on that bench and they are from England? You have Ainsley, Maitland-Niles. Who else? So I think that's the reason, you need to have that, England player starting match day in, match day out. And I think he's one of the better, one of the best English talents we have at the side. Saka, Smith-Rowe, and Willock. Willock is, for me, he has never impressed me. Maybe Reece Nelson and Rob Holding. And of those who can start on a regular basis, it is Rob Holding and Bukayo Saka, maybe with Emile Smith-Rowe right now. So I think that's the reason as why he's getting his new contract. I don't think he has earned it. I don't think he has done so much as a player. I don't think he has added too much value. But I think Arsenal wouldn't want to lose him. If we never sold him in the summer, when he had not played actually so many games, but we never gave him to Newcastle on loan actually, I think we won't let him go right now. The other story is Matteo Guendouzi. There is a little bit of a conundrum. Reports, the Bild said Arsenal were interested in bringing him back from Hertha Berlin, from Germany. We wanted to cut short the loan spell that we had agreed with the German side so that we can actually bring him back and he plays football for us. Of course, everybody now knows that we need that kind of player. We need that kind of player that can play with Thomas Partey in that midfield, link up play, create chances from far deep, drive that ball, pass that ball forward. And I think Dani Ceballos, Granit Xhaka, and Mohamed Elneny, all of them have failed to give us that. So it is either, we deal with the reality, and the reality is we need that kind of player, and Matteo Guendouzi can be. He has been very good at Hertha Berlin. He has had a very nice spell at Hertha Berlin. He's been absolutely wonderful. Yeah. So should we bring him back? It goes back to the reason as to why he left in the first place. He never left Arsenal because he was an awful player. He never left Arsenal because he was not good enough. He left Arsenal particularly because of his indiscipline. So if he's coming back, are we sure that his work, he has worked on his discipline? Are we sure that Mikel Arteta is going to give him the game time? Are we sure that the wrangles between him and the manager are no more? I don't know, but that story is there. However, Fabrizio Romano did come out and also give us an update and said, according to sources close to Matteo Guendouzi, he is not coming back. He doesn't want to come back, and Hertha Berlin would prefer to make the deal a permanent deal, which I don't think works in favor of Arsenal, but we shall be discussing that in the summer when things get that bitter. Emi Buendia this week. Now, there are a couple of stories that I've seen while I was not reporting news, and I was trying to follow little by little. Express saying Arsenal have written off this deal because of the 40 million price tag. That is not true. That is actually not true. But we did have contact with his agent. We contacted his agent as we were ending last week. That is what I can tell you for now. We did contact his agent as we were ending the week, and we were very sure that the player wants to join the club. His agent and the parties actually, the reports came out that the player was very ready to force a move to Arsenal. And of course, that means that all that matters is you agree with the player, you get an agreement with the player, and then you see whether the player can actually force a move to Arsenal, which I think can happen. However, the question is Arsenal really willing to bring in a creative midfielder? And I'm sorry to say this, if you're going to bring in Buendia or any other player, it should be this week. We should be saying signs this week. But this is quite a little bit frustrating, but I don't think Arsenal is going to sign anyone in this January transfer window. I think everything we are going to do is going to be for the summer. Everything we are doing now, clearing out players, clearing out deadwood, letting players go, waiting for their contracts to run down, it's going to be for the summer. We might have a different kind of summer where players are leaving and others coming in. Yeah, probably 3 players could come in and 6 players could leave. But in the January transfer window, it might be very, very hard for us to see Arsenal sign a player like Sheelan Brandt or Buendia. With Emily Smith Rowe now at the peak, I know many Arsenal, stakeholders are going to be very blinded by the fact that this young boy is on fire, and they'll use it as an excuse not to sign in number 10. And when Emily Smith Rowe gets injured, like he has always been injured, that is when the tables turn. And that's when we go back to square one. How I wish we signed a midfielder. But anyway, until then, I'm still here watching, and I'll come back with more of the transfer updates. I'll speak to you very, very soon. Love you. Smash the like button. Get yourself subscribed. Just support me until we reach 20k, because that is the biggest point.